We're live. Morning, Clay.
Hey, good morning. Can you see me okay?
Yeah, I can hear you just fine. How you doing, man?
I'm well, man. Thanks. Let's see here. Can I turn my video on here or no? I don't think
you should be able to. I can.
Yeah, I think I am an attendee. So
Okay.
you might need to give me some privileges.
Promote to panel. You just got promoted. Congratulations, you're a panelist.
All right. Yeah. What's up, guys?
Not much, man. Nice background.
Right? I'm outside. I'm actually, yeah, it's my girlfriend's here. We're actually running to the airport right after this, and so she's packing up. So I'm like, I'm gonna move outside, but I like this little setup. So
yeah, it's nice. Good lighting.
Yeah.
How did you want to be pretty actively and participating in this, Clay, or
Nope, just gonna want to introduce you guys.
Okay, cool.
And I know I'm sure you got some of your peeps on there, but just a quick introduction. Just put a little bit of excitement around, hey, these weekly things, and so it should be good. I've already had quite a few people saying that they they couldn't make it, and so they wanted us to send the recording. So yeah, so
I think we had 30 people signed up.
Okay, cool. Nice. Looks nice there, Ken.
Yeah. Well, you just inspired me to go outside, Clay.
Yeah. So I think we have somebody else on here. So I know we've got a little bit of time, but I'm actually doing this little side hustle, and it's all about I don't know whether I should say it because this other person might steal my idea.
It's Norma. Oh, okay. She's on our staff. Yeah.
So you know how these calls, the backgrounds are so bad, right? All of them.
Yep.
And the majority of the world is working from home now and working from a bedroom. They've got people behind. I want to create a package where someone can either upload their logo and we make it look professional off to the side, or maybe do a wood background like behind me or whatever, do a couple different backgrounds. And I create a package where someone buys a backdrop, and super easy, super portable. And then it also, if they want to upgrade, they can get a lighting thing to get their light. So basically they buy like their web conference background. And I've got a resource to get them printed and everything. So what do you think?
Count me in.
Clay, I'm gonna send you a link to one I just saw, just so you could use it as inspiration.
Yeah. So it's one other one's called. Go ahead.
I think it's called Hum.
Mm-hmm. Cool. Send it to me. There's another one called Anivu, but it's crappy because the background's too big, and they're like, you can't just take it up. It's got to be. It doesn't have to be portable. It has to be easy to take down. And so the goal is have it right behind you. So if life wants to happen behind you, kids need to walk by, or someone needs to walk into the bathroom, or whatever it may be, life can go on, right? So make them super affordable, and just literally put the package together. So, and all I would be is a little distribution hub. So,
love it, man.
Yeah,
love side hustles.
Fun. Yeah, for sure.
So we got people coming in here. So let's see. Ali, Caro, Fred, Norma, welcome you guys. If do me a favor, as long as you can hear us well, just put a little thumbs up or something in the chat. Make sure that our communications are going well. Daniel, welcome. All these familiar faces. Thanks, Fred. Thanks, Ali. So you're in Park City right now, right, Clay?
I am. The weather couldn't get any better.
Awesome.
It's unreal right now, but yeah.
I still have to, did you do you know, well, we'll keep chatting as people come in, but do you, have you met Deacon yet? Deacon Andrews?
So
I asked
I've
you that?
known, yeah, I've known him. I met him about 6, 7 years ago, maybe 8.
Okay.
So yeah. So does he still own a gym in Park City?
Yeah, he's
Okay.
got an outdoor gym now
Okay.
by
All right.
necessity. And I guess it was listed in Outside Magazine as like one of the 10 best outdoor gyms.
What?
Yeah. He didn't even know it until one of his clients was like, "Hey, did you
That's
see
amazing.
this?"
It's amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing. I know he
Who's
caters
that,
to
Eric?
the,
Deacon Andrews.
yeah. Does he still have his long beard?
Oh yeah. Yeah. It's like,
Okay.
yeah, he was just here in Whitefish and it was down.
Oh,
It's very,
nice. Yeah.
I didn't realize he's like 6 foot giant, like
He's a big,
6'5". He's huge, man.
he's a big boy. I listen to what he tells me to do. I can't do any more pull-ups. Get up there. It's funny.
All right. Well, you guys, we'll get started here in a minute. We'll give everybody another minute or so to join in. I'll probably, Clay, just let me know when you want me to record.
Yeah, for
Oh,
sure.
it is recording.
Yeah.
Man, we're good. Yeah,
Good.
so people are pouring in.
Yeah. Sounds good. And then I can, afterward, if you just want to drop me the link, and then I can I'll edit out this stuff, and then we can just get right to the meat of it for sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, great. Well, I know everyone's busy, so why don't we, let's get into it.
Awesome. All right, cool. Well, I just wanted to jump in here real quick. My name is Clay. I own 321Go Project. We've been around since 2011, just doing all kinds of fun stuff. And we focus on software geared towards websites and lead gen. And so part of this initiative here, and this is the first of weekly webinars that we're going to be doing for you guys. And just to provide resources to you to help through just the craziness that we're going through right now, sort of like a guiding light, sort of like just some advice, and that you guys can use each week to try and help you just either give you momentum or a little bit of encouragement and all those types of things. I think there's a lot of people out here putting on webinars, which I think is great. I don't think there's enough information that you can get, especially since there's so many unknowns. But so 321Go is partnered with Level 5 mentors, Eric Malzone and Ken Andrukow, which I'm super stoked. These are just really great guys. They're very versed in this gym industry, have both owned gyms in the past, and are really just honestly really good guys that really want to help. And so that's their motive first, and then go from there. So they've got some great resources. So this is going to be a weekly deal on Thursdays. And so this will be recorded, and we'll make sure that if for some reason you need to jump out soon, we'll send out the recording. But yeah, why don't you guys take it away from here?
Right on. Well, thank you, Clay. Great
Yeah,
introduction. And we appreciate the opportunity to work with your community as well.
Mhm.
And, I think great introduction. Ken and I have been working together for almost over a year now with Level 5 Mentors. And if you guys want to find out more about our backgrounds, we won't go through all of that now, but you can go to level5mentors.com and check out our history and our background, the content that we put out there. We have both been in the fitness industry for a long time, almost 30 years of collective gym ownership, multiple gyms across that board. And we mentor and coach a lot of people. Ken's mentored hundreds of gyms along the way. We work with a lot of entrepreneurs from not just fitness, but all over across the board right now. We have 2 podcasts. We have The Future of Fitness, which is aptly named for this series of webinars, because that's what we're focused on is what's coming down the pipe. And I think one of the things I see in social media land, the webinars that I attend, is a lot of this through this whole thing called COVID and the pandemic and these shutdowns and all of the challenges that we're facing. A lot of it is very understandably reactionary, which, we can talk about what to do now, right? But also we want to focus forward on, if we're proactive, what are the opportunities that are going to come throughout this, and getting everyone positioned for that properly. So, as entrepreneurs, when consumer needs shift, there's huge opportunities there. We just kind of batten down the hatches for the time and then plan for that. And we want to do throughout this series is get you guys thinking and us thinking as well, and having conversations openly about what do we do next? How do we come out of this? Not just okay, but in a really great position to thrive. So that's a short introduction. And in this particular webinar today, and we have tons of topics that we'll cover throughout the weeks as we go, but we really want to focus on 3 core things of, hey, what does it mean? What does a shift in the consumer needs mean? Right? That's the major topic. That kind of sets the table for everything else. Technology, how that's playing an ever-growing role within gyms and fitness and health. And then finally, the hybrid model and what to do currently with these service offerings that you have. So we'll talk kind of big picture. We'll get down granular. So I think the first thing we can talk about, Ken, is consumer needs. How are they different now, right, than they were 6 months ago? And what can we do about it?
Yeah, we were talking earlier today, Eric, that the thing that's really changed are the needs of the consumer. That what's happened at the gym hasn't really changed. You still have a brick and mortar gym. You still have your floor and equipment and coaches on hand. But what's really changed is how the client or the consumer sees the gym and how they see using the gym. And obviously, some will feel safe about coming back into the gym, and they'll be okay with the changes that inevitably had to be made on how to make sure that the place is clean and the rest of that, and making sure that they have a feeling of safety for those people, but others will it'll take them longer to come back. And I think the stats are that something around 30% of people will not come back to working out in the gym, and their needs have changed. They still have to get fitness. They still have a desire to want to have fitness. So it's up to the gym to figure out, how do you maintain that relationship? And I think that's where some of the technology starts to come into play. We all did, Zoom classes for maybe they still are doing a lot of them, but that kind of wears thin pretty quickly. So it's like, how do you make sure that you've really dialed in your technology to make sure that you're communicating well, you're communicating often. It's very efficient. It's not taking you a lot of time and burning up a lot of your cycles. And then delivering product or services to clients at home, online, however you're doing it. And I think you said it well earlier today, Eric. It's become the advent of what is now classified the hybrid model. With less people in the gym, you have more time with clients, and you're able to spend more time with them. So what are you thinking about delivering now that you have more time with them? I ran a gym for 18 years, and we were a busy place. And, if you got, 30 seconds to a minute with each client during a class, you're doing pretty good. Now you're going to have 5 minutes, 10 minutes into the client to work on things. What additional services are you delivering to those clients? What education are you reaching out to be able to deliver a higher level of service? Are you able to see and help people with injury, either prevention or remedy? What kinds of education are you providing to your coaches so that you can provide a higher level of service? And I know it's counterintuitive, but when do you plan to raise your prices? You're going to have less people in the gym. You've got to raise prices to be able to survive, which means if you're raising prices, you got to increase services. And being the fact that you have less people, it becomes inevitable that you're moving towards this hybrid model of, some kind of at-home programming if you can, individualized programming, individualized time to do that programming in your gym, and community-based workouts. That's essentially a hybrid model.
Yeah. Yeah, well said. And it's and we're going to jump around between these topics because consumer needs, technology, and the hybrid model, they're all intertwined, really, and we kind of show you the picture of what that means. And I think one of the most fundamental concept with this is that your consumers, your clients haven't disappeared, right? They're still there. They just have different needs, right? They still need to stay healthy and fit. Maybe they're scared. So the way you deliver and how you build it is really critical. And one of the things that I see coming out of this, which if you go back on the future of fitness for the last 3 years and all the episodes we published, is that I've always hoped for the rising up of the professional coach, right? So the antiquated model of time for money, right? Hey, you buy a 10-pack of personal training services has been antiquated for some time. And this may be the thing that kind of finally pushes it over the edge and it kind of disappears forever. So if you think about it this way, if you're truly a professional coach, you understand your clients' needs, you know what their struggles are, you've got to know them well, right? And you've laid out a solid plan for them. The tools that you have at your disposal aren't as important because you can get the job done with anything, whether it's in person, whether it's remote coaching, whether it's, little bits of technology or reminders, whatever it is. If you understand the big picture, you can help your clients, you can guide them through this. In fact, you're probably more valuable now than you were 6 months ago because they need that guidance. They need that high level expert to be in their life and guide them through it. So you actually have an opportunity to elevate to a much higher level within your clients' lives. And that's a huge opportunity. And a lot of people may not see it because we're all scrambling just to kind of stay safe, which is totally understandable, right? And from a business perspective. So I think that's huge. And what Ken's talking about, the hybrid model, is exactly where it's going. People are implementing it now, are doing very well. Let's be frank and say that a lot of gyms will not make it through this. And I say that with all due respect and sympathy and empathy, because we're both gym owners, small business owners. Of failures and successes along the way. So it's tough, but if you can make it through this, there's huge opportunity on the other side to gain market share and gain clients and have a really strong brand. So that in some way can be very exciting and positive and optimistic. And that's where I want people to focus. So with that hybrid model kind of explained from a high level, technology, Ken, how is that playing into this?
Again, it's ensuring that you have a frictionless model that clients can really take advantage of your services, that you can communicate effectively and efficiently with them constantly. I don't have any favorites that I think about. I work with several technology companies in the fitness space, mentoring them. But, the key to it is, I always come back to, the fitness game is all about relationships. And the only way you develop a relationship is through thorough and proper, efficient communication. And that's where you really need to start. Making sure that the technology that you have in place, or that you can go out and buy, really helps you to communicate well. And I would really encourage people, if they're anything like me, I'm not a great wordsmith. I don't seem to take the time and patience to sit down and really write well. Find someone that can help you with that, so that they help you craft the messaging, and build out, 60, 90, 120 days of communication for a new member, and build out something very similar in the life cycle of your current members. And now you got to break it down even further, because you've got people that are in the gym. How do you communicate with them? And then you have people that are staying at home and doing, something with you at home, whether it's through programming or some kind of hybrid model. Make sure that each one of them is communicated in a very unique way. I think that's critical. So whatever technology you can use, deliver that through text messages, emails, videos. I really like video, but that's just my way I guess I talk for so.
A really quick side note, Ken, just so I don't forget and letting people know, we recently just partnered like in the last day or so with a fitness copywriter. And she is awesome and gets it. And so we're really encouraging our clients to take a look at their own websites and emails and to fine tune it for them. I know for us, we'll create generic content for gyms, which is a great starting point. That is all it is a starting point. So like you said, I highly recommend getting someone like that who understands the space and that can appeal to your clients and engage them and get them interested, because I'm not a wordsmith either. And so having someone who can do that well is the difference maker. So we'll share that. Actually, I'll share that in the recording, but yeah, so we've got a great resource for that.
Yeah.
Awesome.
And it's also really important that everyone remember that you can have a wordsmith help you, but really what you are looking to do is help them deliver your values within your communication.
For sure.
The things, our values and how we express them are the things that truly make us unique in our marketplace. And if you're just taking stuff that is boilerplated and you're not editing them for your own purposes, that's kind of a wrong move.
I agree.
Because you won't come through in that. So.
Yeah.
Yeah. So when I look at tech, and this has been a big focus of mine too, is doing a lot of interviews with tech companies, CEOs, founders throughout the industry over the last, couple of years. I see something happening. I don't have a crystal ball. No one knows who's going to be the big winners coming out of this yet. I mean, you can see a couple. Peloton obviously is a great example of someone who's getting to the consumer needs. If the consumer wins through their platform, they win, right? And that's big. You see Tonal now is making big pushes in the amount of content. So these big tech companies are coming in. They're certainly gaining ground. That doesn't mean that the mom and pop shops, the 2-3 location owners can't be successful here too. And I think the concept that I'm starting to see come true is what I would like to deem as the decentralization of fitness. So typically before pre-COVID, the gym was the hub, right? Everybody came to the gym. That was a central point of contact, of interaction, of everything like that. That decentralization is changing. And what the hub now is going to be something more of a virtual community, which the gym is an extension of. And I hope I'm explaining that well, because it's in my head and I've talked to people about it. But that's a really critical thinking, is like building this online cloud community. And that means digital products, your remote individual coaching, the hybrid model, plus the in-person, all of that comes through, and the community has options to look at all those different service offerings from one central hub, which is digital and tech based. And there are companies, MyZone, for example, is working on a solution for that. One of our clients and good friends, Ray Reyna, has a software that he's been developing, improving it now. This is a really cool example of what he's done. Is he gave up the lease to his gym. He has a successful business in Vegas, and he gave up the lease, dispersed everything, his community, to a couple locations in people's actual garages, right? Plus individual programming that people can do from home. He has 3 different tiers of service offerings. He's now become more profitable than he's ever been, and he's gaining new clients through that. And I'm sure we'll get him at some point on this, and we can talk about how he's doing it. But the concept is critical. And the software, you can actually use multiple pieces of it, right? You can piece that together with what's available, from something like a team builder to a true coach to whatever it may be. There's a lot of those things available. And you can also use your website as a hub, right, for everything going on. And Clay can help you develop that. So that's the overall thing of how I see tech working. I'm not a coder. I don't know those things, but I do believe that is where we're looking, is, the decentralization into the cloud of the communities. And a really interesting noticing that I've had, and I just want to share ideas, this isn't something I would say go take action on, is that we're starting to see that the fitness professional can be the star, right? So Peloton has now developed, they've put a lot of money, kind of like, I love this concept of the record label model for fitness professionals, right? Hey, if you're a great talent as a fitness professional coach, you can now be picked up, shared content, have live streaming classes through major platforms. So that's another thing that's interesting that's coming about this. And once again, I'm not sure where it's all going yet. If I did know, I would tell you guys right now. But there's still a lot of unknowns in that. And I think that's kind of some concepts I want to share with you guys too, just to get you forward thinking. And I think what Ken and I are here to do is not necessarily give answers, but just offer better questions to get you thinking about your own business, because everyone has a unique business and opportunity within their market. So yeah, any other thoughts on tech, something and stuff that you guys have seen that's been interesting?
Clay's the tech guy.
I couldn't agree more with what you guys are saying, and how crucial tech will be. I use myself as an example. I've been in a gym for 2008 for a long time. You would think it actually would make a difference, but since this happened, it's been impossible for me to go to the gym, just because I'm a single dad raising a special needs kid and working and all this kind of stuff. So I've been working out at home and pulling workouts from wherever, right? And seeing that hybrid model would be amazing for me. Having that accountability, helping me lead me through warm-ups. I mean, I know what I'm doing, maybe a little bit more than most people, but still I struggle. What should I do today? You know, and being that voice for people and being like, hey, what do you have going on this week? What's your schedule like? I may never show up in a local gym again, but he could have me as a client, right? If he does it right through just communication and just giving me tools and tips. I'd pay for that in a second. I wouldn't pay probably full price, you know, of a membership, but I would absolutely pay a tiered membership for that. And then eventually what would happen is, once things are at a point where I can go back, I'd go back in a second. Wouldn't even be a question. So I think that's really smart.
You know, it's interesting. Fitness, and we could take a brand. Let's take CrossFit as a brand. The act of CrossFit is an activity, and the act of doing that activity is free. You could do it anywhere. You could do it at home, Clay. We could. I mean, I have in my shop. I can do it there. It's free. What you pay for is the expertise on how to dose it properly.
Yes.
And have proper coaching on movement, help me, you know, reduce my likelihood of injury or help me remedy an injury I have. That's what you pay for. And if you're going to be well paid for it, be really good at those. That's really what a coach is. And, you know, we work with a company called Active Life. They're an educator of coaches, teaching them how to be better coaches and help people identify and remedy potential for injury. And I've watched coaches that I've sent to them go from, you know, struggling and having their coaching be a side hustle to their real job, to giving up their real job and making themselves professionals in the industry of coaching and making, you know, $50,000, $60,000, $70,000 a year. That's what I want to see. That I want coaches that are, and gyms that have coaches that are full-time coaches making good money. That's the ideal. You know, you see gyms out there with, you know, 15 part-time coaches, none of which the coaching is their priority. And it shows. They're running classes. And what I would highly recommend is you pare that down to 3, and those become full-time coaches, and you pour a bunch of time and money into educating them so that you can service your customers at a very high level, and then you will be successful.
Yeah. It's interesting because we have Aylin on this from Iceland, who's on right now. She's listening, and you know, she made a big leap, right, from the typical group model into the individual design model, and it was a big risk, right? She literally told all of her members in one day, "Hey, this is what I'm doing. I'm going now to this." And I'm sure with no lack of sleepless nights over that transition period, she's now seeing a high level of success because she's really looked at professionalizing the coaching. And in this day and age, that's really valuable to people. You know, I think people are really looking for that engagement and understanding and deep knowledge, and Active Life RX is doing great education for that as well, and showing you the way. Not just giving the education, right, Ken, but actually showing you how to sell it And we're not here to do anything for
Yeah.
Active Life or sell them, but it's just a great example of the professionalization of the coach.
Yeah. And I think that in that particular example, they only need 25 to 30% of the client base that they used to have in the old model to be profitable. So, and they went to OPEX. I think that was their
OPEX. Yep.
change.
Yeah, it went to the OPEX model.
Yeah, it's pretty scary. So,
yeah. But once again, I'm sure I have to assume with 99% confidence that there was a raising of rates. So, and that's that can be scary for people at times. It's a leap of faith, but I do think that is part of it. Maybe we can dive into that, Ken, is how would you change a typical gym structure and the way that they do their offerings and their rates right now?
Can you repeat that? It kind of broke up on me.
Yeah. So maybe you can give it a little more detail if you were still at the helm of the gym, right? How would you be changing your offerings and your rates to accommodate for the new now?
Yeah. Well, again, I would have started with educating coaches to be able to deliver a high level of service. Define that high level of service as individualized client assessment, moving into individualized client programming to resolve issues that we found in the assessment. And then I would have put them into hybrid classes that would allow them to do their own individualized work during the class time, and then rolling that into a community workout at the end. And when I look at how that all looks, I would have figured out how many people can we service in those time periods, still maintain a high level of service, and then I would price it accordingly based upon what we have, the availability of how many people can we have at how many times during the day. And then obviously look at costs and so on. It's probably around somewhere between $400 and $500 a month. And I'm in Canada, so that's about, $250 to $350 in the US.
Yeah, it's solid. And I think that's not an astronomical rate in my mind for high quality coaching with access to a gym, if you're offering that, or just individualized coaching remotely. I think an average price from the people I talk to of remote coaching is right around $250, give or take 100 either way. So I think that pricing is extremely fair. I would be very confident with it moving forward, that's a great value if you're backing it up.
Right. What's interesting, Eric, is that if you talk to individuals who are, entrepreneurs, people in business, so on, that are fit, and you ask them, how much money do you invest on a month-by-month basis to stay fit, healthy, and be well fed? And this doesn't include food costs. It's somewhere between $1,000 and $1,500 a month. That's how much they spend on coaching, access to a facility, and nutritional help. $1,000 to $1,500. That's the true value.
Yeah. And I have a client who's very niched in the soccer space. For her remote coaching, she's at $600 a month.
Yep.
Very successful with it. So there's also, right, the classic perceived value, which is one of my favorite things. If I have two pens of two exactly same pens, but this one's cost $5 and this one's 75 cents, what am I going to assume? $5 one must be really good, right? And that's, so it's just part of the perceived law of perception. And you have to back it up, but still having that high quality service, because obviously if you raise your rates too, I know everyone on this call is in this to help people. You're going to want to meet that value and you'll strive to do it. So I think it sounds counterintuitive, but I would agree. It's a really good tactic to implement right now is increasing your service offering.
One thing that we hear a lot from gym owners is I would never pay that. In their mind, they could be like, I would never pay for this, the cost, the price that I'm charging. So in their minds, they're like, well, if I'm not going to pay for it, then no one else would. And that's just not the case.
Yeah.
It's not the case at all. So people will pay for that.
People will. Absolutely. So I think our time is running up. I like to open up some, go ahead, Clay.
Yeah, I know. I was just gonna. I just wanted to respect Daniel. He asked the question, and
Oh
so
yeah. Yeah. Let's
did
do
you
this.
did you see that? I just want to make sure we get to that. So
Yeah. I want to give about 10 minutes here on the back end.
perfect.
We'll
Cool.
nail that down. So Daniel Schreiber, Daniel, thanks for asking the question. Asks, one thing most people go to the gym for is equipment, which they don't want or can't afford. For all those people who want but don't have access to commercial gym equipment, how will gyms deliver quality, resistance-based content to these people?
You looking at me to answer that?
Oh, we can all answer it. I mean,
Yeah. I mean, I think there's a lot of inexpensive ways to get training, and I think we all trick ourselves into thinking we need all these things, you know, and it needs to cost a lot of money. It doesn't. You can get a lot done with rubber bands. You can get a tremendous amount done with body weight, simple tools like, you know, if you want something a little heavier where you feel it in your hands, you know, kettlebells are great. They don't cost a lot of money. You know, the trouble with the equipment marketplace right now is they're not making any.
Yeah, supply chain.
Very, very difficult to get equipment right now. So, you know, keep it simple. I once had a neighbor of mine at the cottage. He was the commissioner of the RCMP, which is the big federal police force in Canada. He came over and he said, "Hey, Ken, when I get back from the summer, I want to, you know, outfit my house with a bunch of equipment." I said, "Show up here tomorrow morning at 6 o'clock. I'll show you what you need." And he's like, "Okay." And I mapped out a piece of 4x8 piece of grass. And I said, "That's all you need." And he's, "Are you kidding me?" I'm like, "No." We did a workout and he was like, "Oh my God, this is incredible." And he came every morning at 6 o'clock for the rest of the summer. And then he took videos of him back in Quebec, lunge walking up and down the highway. I don't recommend that, by the way. You know, doing burpees and doing all these things. And then he, you know, he kind of graduated to some bands and all that kind of stuff. So, yeah, I mean, you don't need a lot. What you need is properly dosed programming, and that's where coaches come in. So, yeah.
And I know Daniel Schreiber. I know the person who asked the question. I know his company, wearbands.com. So he may have inventory at this point too. It's an interesting little device. So great question, Daniel. You guys, what other questions do you have? Now's your chance for the next 5 or so minutes.
I think Ali Meeks has got, I like what he said about not basing what you charge on what you personally would or could pay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oftentimes we have this tendency to, you know, project our inability to pay for something on others, especially, you know, coaches or gym owners who aren't making much money. They're desperate to get people to sign up. That's really transparent, and you know, you got to make sure that you're well paid for the time and effort that you're putting into things. And also would say that all of your years of experience should tell you that you've put the time in and you've done the work, and you need to be compensated appropriately for it. You deliver life value. Is that worth? Answer that question and then do your pricing. Any coach who's any good has had the conversation with clients who've come to them and said, "Oh my God, you've changed my life." Remember those conversations when you do your pricing.
Yes. And that's a really critical point. It's just, you know, it's not based on your income. I have this amazing memory of watching a woman walk into my gym, younger, probably early 20s. She had holes in her sweats. She was actually barefoot. And, you know, she came in and I immediately thought like, oh man, you know, what's this consultation going to go like? And we went through all the normal stuff, right? What are her goals? Why is that important to you? What does success look like here? What do you think your obstacles are? Why have you failed in the past? What made you come in today? All of that stuff, right? We did all that great consultation work. And at the end, we went through the packages and she's like, I want that one. And it was $5,000 in private training. And I'll never forget that, because my perception of who this person was, money I was making, all of that was way off. And I think you just go in, you understand your value to what you're doing for people. And trust me, once you raise your rates to something that is equitable within the market, you're going to strive to hit that value for people. It's kind of where you set your benchmark. You're not going to increase your rate and then be like, okay, well, I guess I'll just kind of pull equipment away, or, lessen my hour, whatever it is. Like you got to understand the value they're perceiving. And it's a big step mentally, but every time I've been in a corner in a gym as a gym owner, I've always gone with raising my rates, because it's always been a good move. So, yeah.
What I love about this, and Lily, good having you on here. She's actually our content writer. She's in Colorado.
Great.
She's
Hi,
awesome. But what I wanted to say is, it's freaking scary right now, and I get it. I mean, we're all small business owners in one sense or form. That's why we're on here.
Mm-hmm.
But if you need someone to kind of push you off the cliff to make changes, like, we're here to give you the push. You can't stay the same. It's just not possible. The model that was previous does not work. And if you're relying on that, people that are on here, and just assuming they're going to do status quo, business as usual, go in the grocery store and look at all the people wearing masks. Like, I get it. I mean, I'm saying life has changed. Life has changed. There's a sense of fear, and we need to be there for them, and in essence, push them off the cliff to make changes, because now's the time to do it before it's too late. I'm not gloom and doom at all. I think there's incredible opportunities. Incredible. I get super stoked what you just said about, like, taking that the gym and decentralizing it. I think that's beautiful. I think it works where people are in their life, how they are. I can't go to the gym every day. Before, I'm like, dang, I didn't go 5 days a week. Okay, go 3, and then the other days do something at home. Go out for a trail run or whatever it may be. So it makes fitness work for you, instead of being a slave to going to the gym, which is what I used to do. I got burned out.
Clay, just to the point of that story that we talked about of our client Ray, who decentralized and used tech as the primary platform in the garage gyms. You know what? All of his coaches are super happy. They're making more money. They're working less. All of this is going to end very well, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And ultimately, if the consumer wins, we all win, right? So I think that's something to be really optimistic about. I'm cautiously optimistic that everything is going to be really good for the fitness industry. I think we're going to elevate. I think we're finally going to get to a higher level of quote unquote status within our communities and our societies as something that's actually really critical. And people are going to understand that health is really big now, and community and being engaged with people and have someone you can turn to talk to and work out with and exercise. It's going to be critically important. So it's a pretty exciting time. We have another question from Lily. Hello, she says, loving the information here. Great stuff, guys. Thanks so much for doing this. When the shutdowns first started, a lot of gyms allowed members to rent out pieces of equipment. I was one of those members, and it was truly a game changer for my ability to train. But more importantly, my mentality during quarantine. Maybe equipment rental will become more ubiquitous over time as part of the hybrid model. I think so.
Yeah, we've recommended to a lot of gym owners over the course of COVID that they make their equipment available and make rentals available. And then potentially when the supply chain comes back on the equipment side, for those who don't want to return to the gym, you make part of their membership renting equipment, and you go off and source it and buy it, supply it to them. And it just becomes part of their monthly membership.
Mm-hmm. Beautiful.
Yeah. We just need the equipment.
Yeah. I'm with you guys. Like, in times of great challenge, there is massive opportunity for change. And, as I said, I was in the gym business for 18 years. And I will say this, the model of group class, as fun and as great as it is, it was starting to come to an end about 2 years ago. And there are some fringe models out there that were doing extraordinarily well and making a lot of money. And if you analyze what they did what we talked about earlier on in the call, and that is this hybrid model that begins to provide higher level of service. When someone leaves a gym, and I'll speak from experience, I had really great retention numbers at our gym. People that have been there 10, 12, 13 years. But when they leave, it's not because they stopped learning, it's because they got worn out and injured. And we didn't have a solution for them to help that hip pain or shoulder pain or whatever it might be. That's the next level. That is fixing those problems so people don't leave the gym. And, you know, it strips the fun away from going to the gym when it's painful to go, or you've got to scale everything back because the coach can't help you build a program that gets you back strong enough to be able to do the things you like to do.
Yeah, that's awesome. So I think we've given everyone a lot to think about today, I would imagine. And if you guys have any questions at all, you know where to reach us. We're at Level 5 Mentors, Ken at Level 5 Mentors, Eric at Level 5 Mentors, and Clay obviously at 321 Go. So we're here for you guys. We'll be doing these.
Want to get it?
What's that?
There's one more question in the.
Oh, did I miss it? Oh, Jeffrey Cooper. Okay. And Clay, if you got to run, no problem. We'll take care of the rest. With a potentially large number of permanent closures during the pandemic, and this comes from Jeffrey Cooper, I can see the potential for new digital first clubs better able from the start to offer a physical virtual hybrid model. Are you seeing early signs of this? I understand with the current uncertainty, obtaining funding right now is challenging, but I'm interested to see what is incubating. Yeah.
The answer is yeah. There's a lot of that starting to happen. And see you, Clay. Thanks.
Yes.
What I would say, Jeffrey, is the one thing I would say that is not quite right in the statement. Obtaining funding is not difficult right now. It's in fact the opposite of that. Obtaining funding is very easy right now. People are looking for great places to place money, whether it be the banks or actual investors. So there's definitely a lot of digital first type clubs starting to emerge. And that really goes back to Eric's decentralized gym model.
Yeah.
That really speaks to it.
It's happening a lot. I have a lot of conversations like that. Ken and I are looking actually where we're going to invest our time into helping companies like this. So yes, it's absolutely happening. And yeah, I think the access to capital right now, it doesn't sound like it's a challenge currently. 6 months from now, we'll see. But right now it's access to capital's there. Cool. Let's see. Carol says, "Thank you guys. I can't wait to get back to my gym, but I'm a trainer and I'm also training people online, and it has been great." Good. It's a great model. You know, if you're looking to have a nice lifestyle, help people really hone your craft as a coach, the remote coaching model that is now coming at, albeit kind of crowded for the time being, but that'll wear itself out too. A lot of people won't have, you know, the right approach to it. It can afford you a really great lifestyle. You can work from anywhere. You can make good money, and you can really deliver a high level of service to your clients. So I think it's a great model, and I encourage people to at least have it part of your portfolio, which is part of the hybrid that we're talking about anyway. So yeah, good stuff, you guys. Ken, any closing thoughts?
Just to wrap up what we delivered today, make sure that you're communicating efficiently and effectively. Speak to your values, what makes you unique. Educate yourself and your coaches, and make sure you can deliver at a much higher level, and have a rethink on your pricing. And one way that I would encourage you to look at it is, if you had 50% of the members or clients that you have today, if you had only 50% tomorrow, what would your price have to be? That's probably your right price.
There you go. Awesome. Well, you guys will be here next Thursday. We'll be sending out a new invite. Same time, different topic. And yeah, if you have any questions in the meantime, feel free to hit us up. But thank you, and we'll talk to you guys soon.
Thanks, guys.